(1238) years of Adi Shankaracharya's life. And his wisdom is timeless, yet timely. What he wrote 1200 years ago actually is the knowledge of the Vedas, which is timeless. And it's so much relevant even now. And in times to come, it will get even more relevant. Because as we realize this samsara, as artificial intelligence is showing us what is real, what is unreal, जानने के लिए विवेक चाहिए. So that is where he hammered down, unlike many books which speak in a very loving tone. Shankaracharya, if you want to wake up somebody who is sleeping or who is pretending to sleep, you have to really shake him up. So that's what we all are, in deep sleep, not realizing that we have to wake up to our true nature. And that's what this also, that can we bring in the yajna spirit and learn it together. Today 14 sadhakas will put in their one ahuti into this yajna, and also equally important is your contribution, you as a listener and you as a appreciator, because for many of them, I think maybe all of them, it's the first time. So your clapping will go a long way in encouraging them, because the best part about Chinmaya Mission is nobody is judging anyone. We don't judge each other with our clothes, with our accents, with my hair is going left and right. Nobody is judging. That's the whole idea, because ego is kept outside along with shoes when we enter this mission. So there was a lot of similarity between the life of Gurudev and Adi Shankaracharya. They both were nationalists who believed in the integration of this country which is divided by so many different forces, by states, language, religion. But Gurudev also believed, there's a beautiful line of Gurudev kept in the library, I don't want this to be a bhajan, which is just there to sing bhajans. I want it to be make people who are dynamic and who can work towards national integration. And we can possibly do that by knowing our true nature and understanding our true power. So today, before we start the 14 verses, I would first like Brahmachari Divakarji to say a few words about the life of Adi Shankaracharya, his contribution, because so many of us are really unaware about the greatest general warrior Sanatan Dharma ever had. So let's know a little bit about his life, and then we shall start the verses. Brahmachari.
Harihi. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya madhyamam Arya paryantam Vande param Shruti smriti purananam Alayam karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Bhagavanto Punah Punah Harihi Om. Om Sri Chinmaya Sadguru Namaha. Today is a very auspicious day, Vaishakha Shukla Panchami. Tithi is observed as Shankara jayanti. Many of us know the life of Bhagavan Shankaracharya, that he was born in 8th century. And scholars say that he was born in Kalani, and our Chinmayites say that he was born in SIF, Chinmaya International Foundation. So the thing is, what is the relevance of Bhagavan Shankaracharya's life even in today? When we are overloaded with the information, confusion, anxiety, depression, when we can't tolerate anything else, then Bhagavan Shankaracharya alone has taught us how to be calm and peaceful in the snarl of world. And it is only possible by self-inquiry. His mother was Aryamba and he lost his father in a very young age. Then at a very young age, he studied Veda, and with a natural instinct, he wanted to get sannyasa, wanted to be a sannyasa. Then he got the permission from his mother and he went to Guru Govinda Padacharya, where he learned Advaita Vedanta. And on foot, he traveled around India and tried to establish the actual impact of Upanishad. It is not that Shankara Darshana he has spread it. He tried to spread the actual impact of Advaita Darshana. And not only that, dharma ki punaruddhan. You know, on that time, Buddhism was in a very downtrodden condition. Our Sanatan Bhumi was in a very turbulent situation. So, dharma ki punarjagaran, yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijani aham. And he taught us that dharma rakshati rakshitam. How? Now, he created Dashnami Sampradaya. Do you know the real impact of Dashnami Sampradaya? There is Puri, there is Giri, there is Bharati, there is Saraswati, there is Vanam, there is Parvata, there is Samudra. That Bharata Bhumi will be governed by. Yes, Rajniti there will be there, but everything should be based on Dharma. And what Dharma? Dharayat iti Dharma. What is the intrinsic nature of us? What is the humanity? What is the impact of the whole humanity? In the basis of that, We have to live. And we have to get the essence of the base in this very life, not after death. Nobody knows what happens after death. So we have to gain the actual essence of dharma in this very life. In a very short way, in 1 minute I can tell you what is the impact he started. Like, one. So 1 plus 1 is 2. This is mathematics. When 1 and 1 becomes 11, that is an organization. When technically we keep away one from another, this is called kutmaking. When हम लोग एक के साथ दूसरे को लड़ा देते हैं और एक को, this is called राजनीति. When 1 plus 1 becomes 1, that is called bhakti, prayer. When we become one with our deity, bhakti is the starting point of spiritual life. And then when 1 plus 1 becomes 0, that is the path of knowledge. And he taught us that. How to lose our individuality. Here, Shunya means Purna. Shunya means Purna. Whenever you will feel, you will know, you will realize that you are Purna, that is the actual essence of our human life. And he tried to teach us. On this very auspicious occasion, I pray unto the holy lotus feet of Bhagavan Adi Shankara ji and our Pujya Gurudev that they may shower their enormous blessings, that we can realize the same truth, each and every one. And you feel blessed that amongst all, we are fortunate enough to listen to it. And who are the speakers? They also feel very blessed because in the mission, I did not get the chance. And you got the chance. Thank you very much.
So we shall call out the names, just broad guidelines which you all know. Time allotted for each is 5 to 7 minutes, but don't worry about the time. Just feel free to just speak from your heart. Time, I'll take care of the time. So I'll first invite Avinash Marwani ji to speak verse 1.
Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Murmate, Sannite, Prapti Sannite, Kali,
Chant everyone.
See Govinda, see Govinda, see Govinda of you. When the appointed time comes, nothing will save you, not even the rules of grammar. Swamiji, Acharya Shankara exhorts us that when the appointed time comes, then the rules of the world, assets of the world which we have collected will be of no use. That will be of no, it will not go with us. But the spiritual assets, what we have collected, that will only go with us.
So here the grammar word comes from as Swami Acharya Shankara had seen a Pandit in Kashi learning and emphasizing only on the what is right, what is wrong. We get lost in the frills of the life, but we do not think about the essence, what it really means to us in the long term. Bhaja Govindam or worship this thrice. It seems is maybe it is too bad. That can also be achieved by Navada Bhakti. The five, we are so blessed to have the five senses which the God has given us. So either we can just keep on enjoying the world with these five senses, or we can think and focus what amazing senses God has given us and facility which through which we have enjoyed. So either we can just enjoy the worldly things, or we can focus on how powerful He has made us. Acharya asks us to seek the lasting happiness. We all have to get it. So, worldly knowledge, grammar rules, it may give us temporary uh, comfort, but it will not give us true happiness. But that does not mean the grammar is not important. It is important to understand these scriptures. But once you understand it, then that becomes secondary, and the knowledge and jnana what you have got, that becomes more important, as I feel. So when the appointed time, what Acharya Shankara is saying, that time comes, so it is only that uh, our knowledge will go with us. The rules and worldly rules and assets will not be of use to us. And we will carry forward to our next life what we have collected spiritually in karma. That does not mean that we should stop doing whatever we are doing and just retire from everything. Acharya means whatever we are doing, wherever we are, we can do it in a better way, with more focused attention, controlling our desires, and the ultimate goal of self-realization can be achieved. For example, like in a dark room, if we want to organize furniture, we won't be able to do until there is some light is there. So that light, what I feel, is the knowledge of scriptures. Once we have that light of scriptures, then we can organize the room well. But again, that worldly knowledge will be end there only. Finally, your own what you have worked with yourself, that will only go with you. Govinda is the name of the Krishna, the spirit in all of us, which is like dark or unknown for to most of us till date. So we have to understand that what is inside us, and that Govinda, that Krishna, we have to understand, because that will only go with us. Just on a lighter note, like before this Bhaja Govindam, I got blessed to hear it from Sir Rohit. I always used to read about Kabir Das ji, Sur Das ji, Tulsi Das ji, and strangely I found that even Kabir Das ji, who stayed in Kashi, he also wrote, Puti Badwar Padapade Jaga Bhaya, Pandit Bhaya na Koi, Dhai Akar Prem Ka, Pade So Pandit. Interestingly, this was also written in Kashi around 600 years back. But Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya had written about it more than 2000 years back with a perfect this Bhaja Govinda in Bhaja Govinda, which clarifies it with more details. That why we want not to emphasis on grammar, then to emphasize on the love and that bhakti, and that you can achieve after reading all the books and everything. Finally, for me at least, I have found the bhakti is the way. Right? So I have been blessed by God and Guruji's kripa that till few hours back I was not in a condition to come also. I was having severe back pain. But I resolved no, I have to go. I will be blessed by Guruji. and hence I could reach here. So as I have time,
So when you take care of his work, he will take care of your work. So I'll invite Neeraji Dokania to say verse 2.
सभी गुरु भक्तों को मेरा प्रणाम। मोर जही अनागम कृष्ण पुरुषर्बुद्धि मनसि कृष्ण यल्लभसे निज कर्मोपातम प्रीतम तेन विनोदय चित्तम भज गोविंदम भज गोविंदम गोविंदम भज मूढ़मते. So Shankaracharya ji is saying that move, O fool, Jahi, give up Dhanadam Krishna, the thoughts to acquire wealth. Guru Satbuddhi, create good thoughts. Manasi Vivikram, in your mind, devoid to desire. Yallavase nitkarmo patam. Whatever you obtain, you get it by your past action. Vitante, whatever wealth, vinodaya chitam, you have, be happy. Entertain your mind, contained with whatever you have. Like in verse 1, Vinasriya said that what to do, seek the higher. Now in verse 2, Adi Shankaracharya is saying what not to do. Don't seek for wealth. He is not criticizing the wealth. What is he criticizing? The undue importance given to the wealth and the thirst to acquire wealth. Wealth is important, right? Without wealth, we could not seek and discuss the Vedanta. So wealth is important. Wealth, we can see wealth as Lakshmi Mata, symbol of prosperity. It is something we offer as dan, dharma, puja, yajna, charity. So we respect wealth. It's important. But what is being criticized is undue importance given to wealth and the thirst to accumulate more and more wealth. In our Dharma Shastra, it is said that we have 4 purusharth: dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. First 3 purusharth is the goal in life, but the moksha is the goal of life, means permanent bliss. So what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to earn the earth by dharmic means. After earning, we should use in a dharmic way. Earn by doing job or whatever Dharma Shastra says. In a dharmic way, we should earn the earth and use it in a dharmic way. When we use our earth in a dharmic ways, what happens? Our mind purifies and cleans, and slowly we move towards the moksha. So earth for dharma and dharma for moksha. And what about the pleasure? You can ask that only dharma is our everything. What about the pleasure? So what Adi Shankaracharya is saying that pleasure is fine, but don't indulge in a dharmic way. Means indulging in a dharmic way. So we should know how much to have it, when to have it, and when to stop. So don't forget your purpose of life. It's moksha. So someone asked that what to do with the wealth. So share it, give it, and do asadharan dharma if you have more wealth. Help others. Like sorrow does not come without asking. So joy will also not come without asking. It's all about our karma. So give more, be more. Remember, the purpose is always to seek the higher, Satchit Anand. So I will conclude here. So wealth is something to respect and should be used in a dharmic way, and that dharma will lead to us to moksha. Give and grow further. But no, everything is to come within. Hari Om.
It was very well said. Now for verse 3, I'll invite Rajshri Malji.
Hari Om. Today I speak about verse 3 of that movement by the great philosopher Adi Shankara. I chant the shloka. Nari sanabhara navi desham Krishnamaro Avesham Ekanman Savasadi Vikaram Manasi Vichintaya Varam Varam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Muramate. This verse explains and warns that man should not fall prey to infatuation upon seeing the navel or bosom of a woman. It is equally addressed to a woman's natural attraction to man. Now the question is, what should I do in order to make my mind free from this infatuation? Sri Shankaracharya explains that we should dwell upon the truth of the object of infatuation, that it is nothing but filth, fat, and flesh. It is beautifully decorated and thereby it is attractive. He says we should not suppress our feelings because suppression leads to a distorted mind. Whereas by knowing the true nature of things, understanding sublimation not only sharpens the intellect but also curbs the urge, thereby channeling it towards spiritual upliftment, gradually unfolding divine. Nature has made man and woman with a natural liking for each other. This natural urge needs to be controlled, purified, disciplined, and sublimated. An animal acts, reacts to its own instincts and impulses, but man, being the roof of God's creation, is blessed, privileged with the power of discrimination and an inquiring mind with a true understanding of things, understanding the worth, the true value of this. If then he chooses to drop this as useless, Adi Shankaracharya ji hereby advises to apply Pratipaksh Bhavna on the distracted mind to release it from a state of disturbance. Now, what is Pratipaksh Bhavna? Or opposite standpoint, it's nothing but making your flow of instincts directed towards rational contemplation. Using this technique, when we re-educate our mind, not to run away from its enchanted fields, but to redirect the sublimated mind to choose to get over the two most fanciful imaginations, thirst for wealth and hunger for flesh. Sri Shankaracharya says, that sense gratification is but a waste of energy. This energy needs to be conserved and it should be redirected for something noble, maybe someone, your own self-development. But the nature of human mind that we superimpose a will of inflated value to an object, sometimes a pleasantness to it, get attached to it and desire it. This desire leads to restlessness. It leads to agitation. The advice here is again through a diligent inquiry, close observation, and Pratipaksh Bhavana, we can remove the will of our own fanciful imaginations. Sri Shankaracharya emphasizes that may we contemplate upon the true nature of this attraction and think over it again and again to rediscover our inner kingdom of joy. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. So the best part about the scriptures is they don't just tell us that greed, lust, they are wrong. Step by step methods to get over it. So very well explained. Now for verse 4, I request Sonaji Kapoor to come.
Hari Om. Lokam shokanatam chasamasam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mukramate. What playing on a lotus petal has an extremely uncertain existence. So also is life ever unstable. Understand the very world is consumed by disease and conceit and is rippled with pangs. So here we are trying to say, Swami is trying to say that life is too short. It is too uncertain. Just like that drop of water droplet on the leaf of a lotus petal. A wind might just blow and will just fall off. So that small droplet of water, like what importance does it have? It is so fragile, it is so weak, it is so uncertain. So it does not have any standing of its own. Similarly, we also are like that jiva, which is so uncertain. So like today we are talking to each other, and then maybe tomorrow we'll just hear that person is not there. The person dies. So that shock is there. But life is so small, and yet we are just running after it, looking after it, trying to cling on to it. So this is what we're trying to say, that it is so short, it is so temporary. It was Lord Buddha who saw this, that life is so full of sickness and then old age and then the person dies. This brought that shock in him, and then that's why it is so temporary. And then he realized, that realization came to him. So here they're trying to say that we should also wake up to this. What are we doing? Like, why are we so lost in this, that small life which it is full of disease? So we are all dying, we all know that. But in that abhiman is also coming in. That abhiman of what? Of what we have acquired, what we have made, fame and everything. So we are just trying to cling on to that. So Swamiji is saying that this loka, the shoka which is there is because of this reason. We know it is temporary. We know it is just for a short period. Yet it is now what we are subtly trying to cling on to. We are knowing it's going, but we are clinging on to that. So that is a subtle sorrow that we are going through every day, that fleeting experience of it, which is going every day. So now what are we supposed to do? He said that if you really value which comes in here, that we have to value ourselves. If you value ourselves, then we will not waste our time. If we don't waste our time, we'll do something which is very good. We'll have good vibes. We'll do something positive. We'll do something creative, and try to use this as our purpose of life. That will give us the path to move forward. So this is one thing which is very well said. And then at the other thing was about the time management first, that when we go to some place, that example which was very nice, we go for 3 days, 4 nights. So once we go there, then what we do, we have to go there and we have to do the best. So within the 4 days, see everything which is there, experience all the food, experience all the places, so it's just full and fun. And we have to take the best of what is there within that limited time. So hey, mood bate, wake up, we have got limited time, we don't have the full life. Instead of saying, what are you doing? Please get up, you have to understand. This life is so short. Please wake up, this is so temporary. Wake up to this. This was why. And then when they're saying that in the lotus plant that they're saying is that it is in the water, it grows in the water, it nourishes in the water, it perishes in the water. So through that water, from that seed, it has just come up. So we also come up from the Brahman, we are coming up. So we are that seed that which we are coming up. But just see how it is not affected by anything which is around us. We are so stable in it. So like that lotus, we have to be that lotus plant, that nothing around us should affect us. We have to get that happiness, that inner happiness, that heaven which is there inside us. We should connect to that. So we should be that. That should be our first priority. And then when that water droplet, it will go any minute and it goes into the ground, into that water, it merges into that water. That merge, how is that merge possible? It will be possible only if we realize that we are temporary. We are not clinging on to our desires, to our possessions, to our name, fame, to whatever we have accumulated all this time. We're thinking that is permanent. It cannot be permanent. This is what we keep telling us. This is not permanent at all. We will be just going any minute without any announcement, without any knowledge at all. It will just come and this is the flick, we'll go. Are we ready to leave? Ask this question every day to yourself. Are we ready to leave right here, right now? If we are prepared for that, that is what he's saying. You have to keep taking out this thing within you. Keep that chintan, that manadan, that we will just go any minute. Are we not attached to all this thing around? So how are we supposed to come out of this? That is through Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda. Bhaja Govinda is spoken thrice. Why is it spoken thrice? One at the body level, one at the subtle level, and one at the Brahman level. So body, mind, and intellect, everywhere we are being trying to teach us this only, that at body level we can do at one place, and the subtle level is through the mind, that intellect. The intellect out here is shown as that lotus. Even our intellect, the jiva is shown as that intellect, the Brahman is trying to express itself through that lotus, that is the intellect. But how can it? It is so temporary. That is what the perishable that it is. That is why it is so unsatisfied. That is why it is so agitated. That agitated jiva, it cannot express itself through this. So that is where it is saying that you have to understand. Once we start understanding that everything is temporary, we start living like this, that this is not going to last long. This is just we are not even acknowledging that we are that infinite Brahman. We are not acknowledging, we are not even awareness, first thing. Second, we are not wanting to accept this thing, that we are that immortal, that infinite being, that which we are. We have actually taken ourselves totally separate. This is myself. Everything will happen to the rest. Nothing will happen to me. I am safe. Nothing is going to happen. So myself is becoming too much. This myself, when you understand this myself, that is the agony, that it has to go. It has to go. So this is it. Once when it goes, and you're understanding this, you will drop just like that water without anything, and you will merge in the pond itself. And that will be the death of separation. And you become one with the Almighty.
Very well spoken, Sonaji. So, if you understand this structure, the way Bhaj Govindam is written, in the first three verses, all these worldly knowledge, worldly wealth, and worldly attractions were. This is what most people are typically tied up with. So, we were giving a hammering in say, "Bacho pehle understand," and then to make us understand what's the nature of life. So it's beautifully explained so passionately. I read somewhere, some people live as if they will never die. And some people die as they never lived. So let's live a life worth remembering. So I'll invite Rachnaji Bhagat to talk about verse 5.
Hari Om. Yavadvito varjana sarna tavandija parivaro rata pashtadivati jarjayate vartam govina prechati ke bhaj govindam Govindam bhaja mudamate. As long as there, later on, when you come to live with an old and infirm body, no one at home cares to speak even a word. In this text, also known as Moha Mudgara, Adi Shankaracharya smashes to bits the delusions of the human mind, one by one. In the 5th verse, he hammers our wrong notion that our family ties and close connections with people will bring everlasting peace and happiness to us. When we are in our prime, good health, good looks, agile mind, supple body are all on our side. We are able to earn, support our family, look after their needs. And with the wealth and possessions that we acquire, we earn the love and respect from our family and society alike. At this time, it is easy to believe that my life is set and we have arrived. Sadly, the harsh reality of life is that man is a selfish animal. Worldly love is conditional love. As one moves towards old age, the body weakens, the mind slows, and one finds oneself getting redundant in the fast changing world outside. When one loses the capacity to earn, he ceases to be useful and often faces loneliness and neglect even from his own family. And while this may come as a deep shock and disbelief to him, this unfortunately tends to be the rule rather than the exception. Adi Shankaracharya points out we feel this pain not because our expectations are shattered. This pain is not because we are in this particular situation or because of a particular person, but it is because of the wrong belief that the favorable stage of life will never change. And also due to the blind attachments we form around this belief. So what is the solution now? Life teaches us people will leave, youth will fade, and the world may forget us. And if our sense of peace depends on others remembering us and needing us, we will always be restless. We need to get over this need to be needed. Like my happiness took a dip when my son didn't call me last week. We humans feel a nagging sense of incompleteness within ourselves. And we seek to fill this void by attaching ourselves to, by forming various attachments around us, often to people, ideas, and activities, to fill ourselves, to feel complete. As they say, forewarned is forearmed. We must seek that joy, which is permanent, unchanging, and unconditional. The
The source of such joy lies within ourselves and not outside. The path is clear and the time is now. While our mental capacities are still intact, we should work towards gaining the right understanding of the world. We should purify the mind by vigilantly weeding out our erroneous thinking, by becoming our own observer. We can then use our experiences here to develop the valuable qualities of acceptance, humility, sacrifice, and harmony. The ultimate goal of life is to seek to build within ourselves that sacred altar where total peace, security, and happiness reside. This is where Govinda resides. A wise man once said, we should live life as if we are on a train journey. We enjoy the sounds, the sights, the food, the companionship, the sense of adventure. But we are always very mindful of our final destination. When we change our mental orientation, life becomes an opportunity to understand and evolve rather than merely chase one pleasure after another. The mind will build the capacity to turn inwards and remain tranquil regardless whatever is happening around us. Through contemplation, we learn to assign the correct values to our experiences here and to our expectations from life. This, my friends, is spiritual progress, and our every thought and action will serve to take us closer to that altar within us, which is the oasis of completeness and everlasting and unchanging bliss.
So, as rightly said, the problem is attachment, and the problem is not family. The problem is that my family will only give me happiness. If you look at the Chinya Mission family, so this family is always there, but I want only my kids to give me happiness because we are all Guru eyes and Guru hands in a way. So, but the fact is, we look for our happiness only within our four walls, the four people we meet, and when they don't call, we feel sad. So that's the irony which, as beautifully said, four want is four harmony. So for verse 7, I request Shivani ji Modi to come. Verse 6, sorry.
Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Mudamate. Sannidhe Hari, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukkina Karane.
This is a very hard-hitting verse where Shankara wants us to wake up from our misbeliefs and our delusions. Yavat pavano nivasati dehi. As long as there is breath in the body or the body is alive, tavat prichati kushalam dehi. Till then, the people in our house or our near and dear ones will inquire after our health. Gatvati vayo deha vaye. When the vayu is gone, when we have breathed out for the last time, when after we die, the body starts to decay. Bharya vidhati tasmin kai. Our wife, spouse, fears that very body. In this verse, as I understand it, Shankara is telling us that even our family members and those closest to us inquire after us only while we are alive. उसके बाद जब हमारे शरीर से प्राण चले जाते हैं, they are not interested in us. In fact, even our spouse, as soon as we are dead, they want कि आपकी funeral जल्दी से जल्दी हो जाए. They don't want कि ये रहे आप घर के अंदर. Those who have loved us, those who have lived with us, cared for us, even to them, we are now just a dead body. No longer will they refer to me as Shivani, they will refer to me as the body, and they want it to be gone. शंकरा हमें हर चीज एक प्रतिपक्ष भावना से सिखाना दिखाना चाहते हैं. It is a reverse argument to show us that we should not assign undue importance to our sthula sharira, which is made up of flesh, bones, relationships, and all that we have acquired in this life of worldly possessions. It is important that we know what is the actual purpose of this life, of this body. It is also obviously to contribute to our family, to contribute to our society, and also to get chitta shuddhi. This is only possible through a healthy body, which means that we should not neglect our physical body. We must not give it zarurat se zyada value. You must stay fit, you must stay healthy, you eat well, you exercise, you look after yourself, you maintain the good health. This is extremely important because our body is the instrument with which we are heading towards our spiritual journey where we want to learn and grow. However, we can't overdo this either. हमारे शायद जान पहचान में कोई ना कोई होगा जो दोष अपन नयनम करते हैं, which means कि एक छोटी शरीर को तकलीफ हो जाती है तो एक डॉक्टर से दूसरे डॉक्टर को भागेंगे कि मेरे फेस पे छोटा सा पिंपल हो गया, इसको आप कैसे भी अभी ठीक कर दीजिए. Or we will have those people who are doing guna adhana, which is to say कि एक शारीरिक ब्यूटी को बढ़ाने के लिए, उसको एनहांस करने के लिए घंटों जिम में स्पेंड कर देंगे, या फिर आप शॉपिंग कर रहे हैं तो खत्म ही नहीं हो रही आपकी शॉपिंग. आप सालों में बैठे तो बैठे ही हैं कि अपने आप को कितना सजा सकते हैं, ये खत्म नहीं हो रहा आपका काम. Gurudev says in his commentary, this is a criminal waste of human ability. This constant drive to improve our sthula sharira is holding all the energy that we have and not letting us focus on our sukshma sharira and our karana sharira, which is actually what we should be doing. That is what will carry forward after our life here is over in this form. Logically, it follows that instead of beautifying our gross body, we should focus on beautifying our sukshma and karana shariras as well. Just like we remove impurities from our physical body, we must also try and remove the impurities from our sukshma and karana shariras. As a student of Advaita Vedanta and very new to this journey, very just learning, just taking my first few steps, I understand that our goal is to get moksha. And by moksha, we mean that we should be delivered from this cycle of birth and death. And to do this, we must try to purify our minds. We must try to purify our sukshma sharira. We must move away from the obsession of superficial thoughts of worldly objects and possessions. We must try and understand the value of I and me is not in this body. We are here to seek the ultimate truth, and hence we must seek spiritual growth. We must seek Govinda. Bhaj Govinda, Bhaj Govinda, Govinda.
Very well spoken. For verse 7, I request to come.
परमे ब्रह्मणि कोऽपि न सत्तं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते. Sublimating.
So long as one is in one's boyhood, one is attached to play. So long as one is in youth, one is attached to one's own young woman passion. So long as one is in old age, one is attached to anxiety, and yet no one, alas, is attached to the Supreme Brahman. See Govinda, see Govinda. In this verse of Bhaj Govinda, Gurudev explains us that in childhood we are all absorbed in play. We involve ourselves in playing games, seeking joys, but in youth, our passion, our attachment moves to passions, desires, achievements, and yes, relationships, which are the most important. We chase recognition, we want to get fulfillment through the outside world, we want to get name, fame, and everything. In old age, the same mind, the same body moves from play, passion, and now to anxieties, fears, and old age worries. So everything is changing. Life is going on, moving on and on. But one thing remains very constant. And what is one thing that we remain attached? Attached to children, attached to outside world, attached to our name, fame, and going on. And here lies the core insight of Bhaj Govinda, that despite having lived an entire life, we often fail. We don't get time, not fail, I would say we don't get time to turn towards the eternal truth, Govinda, the supreme reality. Shankaracharya here is not criticizing life. He is just awakening us from a deep sleep. He is reminding us that as humans, we can feel deeply, we do have a rational mind which can make us aware of the truth. We have a strong intellect in which we can concentrate upon it. But we just don't choose to. Yet the tragedy is we don't choose it, or we postpone it, or we remain distracted. Distracted, आज यहाँ जाना है, वहाँ जाना है, आज ये काम है. Shankaracharya further explains that life traps us within these boundaries of play. Play which shows childhood distraction, youth which shows passion which shows youthful distraction, and anxieties which shows old age distraction. We are continuously moving in this cycle. Continuously. We keep moving in, we think we are progressing, we are achieving something, but sorry, we are not doing anything. We are just repeating patterns. So his message is very simple and powerful. We have to withdraw, reflect, and realign. Withdrawing doesn't mean that we have to leave our life. Withdrawing means withdrawing from worldly desires, worldly cravings, going for one bag and the next and the next. Constant sensory stimulation. We are going endless desires, one foreign trip after the other. Mental preoccupation with the outside world. And instead, we should all take out time to turn inward. But why? That's a very, very simple question. Why should we turn inward? We can just lead our lives like this. He says that we always want constant peace, stability in our lives. But the world is changing, our situations are changing, times are changing. So can this changing times give us that permanent peace? Can that give us that stability? No, it cannot. So we have to just, he urges us to step back from this. And Shankaracharya tells us to directs us toward the changeless, the immutable, the eternal reality, Govinda. I would like to add one line here, which during our class, one girl had repeated, one lady which she had heard from her grandmother. Like, this has just got inside my mind and it has made a hammering there. We all pray to God. अपने सब बोलते हैं भगवान भी, और मीरा जी ने हमेशा ये कहा है भगवान ही. That's the difference. So that is what he is telling us, that let's go ahead and उसी में जाए भगवान ही. So Miss, I will just conclude this, that how do we reach this? Not by renouncing life, by cultivating detachment from worldly cravings, awareness of our true nature, and devotion to the higher truth. Detachment does not mean indifference. We cannot be indifferent to the people living around us, not being indifferent to the thing, but yes, freedom from over accumulation, buying one bag after the other, buying one trip doing after the other. Freedom from emotional turbulence, worrying about children unnecessarily, which I see around, from being controlled by desires. When we develop this detachment and turn towards the divine, life becomes a beautiful pilgrimage, a journey not of accumulation, but of understanding, not of desires, not of chasing, but of realizing. And then even we are living in this world, we are no longer trapped in it. Bhaj Govindam, in conclusion, as Sir told us, it's not a devotional call, it's an awakening call. Wake up call for all of us, it's an alarm clock. Life will pass through stages, we have to be free from detachments. Let us not wait for old age. We will not even be able to see cross-legged then. So let us not wait for suffering. Let us begin our journey right now to reflect, detach, to see and to connect with Govinda, Bhagwan Deep. That will help us to gracefully sail above the clouds, sail through the life and this journey of life. Hari.
I read somewhere, as we grow in age, only our toys get bigger. Earlier we were playing with dinky cars, then we get obsessed with bigger cars. Then if you're playing with Barbie dolls, then you play with your kids. So, but maturity comes when you take responsibility. You take responsibility for your life, passing through so many different lives. So you understand it's a journey of many lives, and in this few years, it's your responsibility to move towards your goal rather than away from your goal. For verse number 7, I request Shanjaji Podar to come. Sorry.
Verse 8.
अम्मा आप अपना चेयर थोड़ा सीधा कर
Adieu, everybody. Verse 8.
कान्ताकस्ते पुत्रः संसारोऽयमतीव विचित्रः अस्य त्वं पुनरायात तत्त्वं चिन्तय तदिहार्थं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते.
Who is your wife? Who is your son? Supremely wonderful indeed is this sansar. Of whom are you? From where have you come? Oh brother, think of that truth here. See Govinda, see Govinda. Have you ever wondered what is ego? Ego is a collection of labels that we have collected over generations, over time, and which has been passed on to us from generations. Through this verse, Shankara reminds us that we are not the label which we have mistakenly identified ourselves to be. We tell ourselves, I am the wife, I am the son, I am beautiful, I am this, I am that. But there's something beyond that. So Shankara tells us to inquire, who are we? He tells us that we should think that, like we tell ourselves, I'm this wife. Where have I come from? So I have come from my mother. Where has that come from? So I've been born, like he explains it very nicely, that I've been born from a seed. Like a seed was planted, and that's where I've come from. Where does that seed come from? So then he says, you've come from Earth, Mother Earth. So eventually it comes down to that we are just a piece of earth, just a piece of mud that it is there, which we mistakenly identify ourselves that I am so and so. So like we said just now that who's our son? Like we said, this is so and so is my son, but he has just come through a body. He is not mine, which we have this false illusion of saying that he is my son. He's also come through, like, just a piece of mud which has connected with another piece of mud. So, and that we call to ourselves to be mine. So he's saying that this is such a false illusion. We must think beyond that, inquire beyond that, and then we come to know that I am not so and so. I'm just this piece of mud. So. We have to break this illusion through inquiry. And the moment I said that, it's not that you have to leave your any relationship or you have to think like you. Basically, the Shastras have given us this family life to live happily. So we have to just the moment we inquire that we are not this body and we are not this, he's not mine. We can live together, but not cling to one another, not get too attached to one another. And that's exactly what Shankara is telling us, to think beyond that. Like Khalid Jabran also says that the son is mine, he's come through this body, but he's not mine. So we have to just leave this my concept, the ego which we have acquired over generations. I think that this is Brahman, this is the piece of earth, this is the piece of Brahman which is part of the whole supreme law. We have to just understand. And that we can do through, like even when we keep inquiring, he just wants us to keep inquiring within ourselves. Thank you. Thank you.
It was very nice, Shanjaji. For verse 9, I invite Manjari ji to Sonali.
Sangatvam Nisangatve Nirmohatvam Nirmohatve Nishchagatatvam Nishchagatatve Jivanamukti Bhaj Govindam Bhaj Govindam Govindam Bhaj Muramate Samprate Sanghite Kale Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrena Karane.
Verse 9 of Bhaj Govindam, proposed by Adi Shankaracharya, is considered the core pedagogical formula for achieving liberation, which is Jivan Mukti.
the entire hymn. It acts as a course, concise roadmap for self-realization by outlining a sequential process of liberation. In the step 5 towards a Buddha Jivanmukta. So through the company, basically we start with breaking down the verse satsang nisangatva, which means basically that good company leads to detachment. Uh, Company of the wise, the process begins with seeking the company of the wise, good or saintly people, which helps nurture spiritual wisdom. This leads to nisangatva. So when we are in good company, we basically start to become detached, non-attachment. Being around the wise helps the mind to become detached, to bring detachment from worldly objects, attachments, and lessening the obsession with possessions or temporary relationships. This leads us to the step 3, which is nirmohatva, which means freedom from delusion. With detachment comes freedom from delusion. We start seeing reality clearly instead of being swayed by emotional attachments that cause misery. This leads us to step 4, which is Nishchala Tattva, which means steadiness and self knowledge. When delusion disappears, the mind becomes calm and rests in the truth, the immutable reality. This leads to the final stage, which is the Jivan Mukti, liberation in life. A steady mind that knows the truth attains Jivan Mukti, freedom from the cycle of birth and death, while still living in the body. Let's talk further about the 4 sequential concepts here. One being Satsangatve Nisangatvam, the second being Nisangatve Nirmohatvam, the third being Nirmohatve Nishchaltatvam, and the fourth being Nishchaltatve Jivanmukta. So the first one, which means company to the detachment. So satsang doesn't only mean attending a bhajan or a satsang, it means associating with people who completely understand the absolute truth, the wise masters and scriptures, self-study. When one is surrounded by people or teachings that are truly centered in the divine, they witness a lifestyle free from dependency. This association influences the mind to naturally detach from trivial temporary material dependencies, not out of hatred or aversion, but out of understanding their impermanence. We only need what we really need. The rest of it is called disattachment, which is going to take us away from our growth. The second is the detachment that leads to clarity. Delusion or moha is the deep-seated misinterpretation of the world, where one views impermanent things as permanent and valuable. As detachment grows, dependencies decrease because we don't feel like, as my friend said, you don't feel like you need the bag or the trips, or you don't need so many friends which you earlier had. So you're not dependent on those things. And the emotional charge, which means the raga, desha, or likes, dislikes, they disappear because your life becomes simpler. You're associating with people who are focused on the ultimate truth, the Mahavakya, and therefore you start shedding all the unnecessary layers, resulting in nirmohatva, a clear objective mind, no longer deceived by illusions. The third one is clarity that leads to steadfastness. When the mind is free from the distortion of delusion, it becomes steady, balanced, and calm. Nishchal tattva, that means the waveringness goes away, and the tattva, which is the ultimate reality, focused on that. Only a steady mind is capable of understanding and resting in the ultimate truth of Brahman. Nishchal tattva jivan mukti, which is the steadfastness that leads to living liberation. The aim is not to be liberated as per Vedanta here, is not to be liberated after the death, but to achieve this mind permanently established in an unchanging eternal self-knowledge. Liberation while still in the human body. This is the goal of Vedanta. To be free from all limitations, which is moha, maya, even while living. The core essence of the verse is that our inner liberation is a step-by-step psychological process that begins with changing one's environment and company to align with truth, leading to a mental state where dependency is destroyed, clarity is gained, and finally the unchanging truth is realized. So what I find in my personal life is that till I was 50, I was just going with the flow of the life and all the choices which is being made But once you get into knowledge and you start reflecting that some choices you can make and how you can be in the company of better people, or you learn about the ultimate goal, and with the teachers, with the masters, you sit and you read, you realize that it has to be a conscious, it's a step-by-step process. You cannot just leave it. In this context, it is imperative to understand this verse in the backdrop of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 62 and 63, which define the eight-step ladder of fall, leading from sensory attachment to self-destruction. In chapter 2, we explain that how the ladder of fall, how you can, attachment leads to complete self-destruction. It explains that contemplating on sensory objects, material things, breeds attachment, which leads to desires, which further leads to anger and delusion, and memory loss, and ultimately the destruction of intellect, which leads to the ultimate downfall. Mentally focusing on sensory objects creates attachment. This attachment develops into intense desire or lust, and when desires are unfulfilled, anger arises. Anger causes delusion, which leads to confusion of memory. This confusion destroys intellect and reasoning, which is the ladder of fall. These verses are crucial for spiritual aspirants, illustrating that inner downfall starts with the mind's focus on external objects. Shall I recite the verses? Dhyato
Dhyayato
Vishyam Sankaste Shubhajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kamat Krodho Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha Sammohat Smriti Vikramaha Smriti Pramshat Buddhi Nasha Buddhi Nasha Pranashyati. I would like to conclude by saying that these verses, therefore, reiterates the verse 9 of Bhaj Govindam, which shows us the step-by-step journey to liberation, so that we can steer away from the eight-step ladder of our downfall. विषयों का चिंतन करने वाले पुरुष की उन विषयों में आसक्ति हो जाती है, आसक्ति से उन विषयों की कामना उत्पन्न होती है, और उस कामना में विघ्न करने से क्रोध उत्पन्न होता है। क्रोध से अत्यंत मूल भाव उत्पन्न हो जाता है, मूल भाव से स्मृति में भ्रम हो जाता है, स्मृति में भ्रम हो जाने से बुद्धि अर्थात ज्ञान शक्ति का नाश हो जाता है, और बुद्धि का नाश हो जाने से यह पुरुष अपनी स्थिति से गिर जाता है। हरि
Very well explained, Manjari ji. So if we see the overall structure, 6, 7, 8, we spoke about the human body and the attachments to his relationship. Shankara hammers that out. And in this, verse 9, it explains the method, how to get out of it. And it starts with satsang. That's what we all are doing here. Verse 10, we don't have anybody, but Shankara, like a scientist, he proves to prove any experiment, you need to prove the corollary also, and that also works. So he explains that, when the old age comes, where are the people retinue? When the wealth is gone, where are your friends? So he explains the proof also that, those are all temporary. So he explains that in verse 10, we don't have someone talking about that. Verse 11, we have Liliji Bhaduri talking about verse 11.
Take no pride in your possessions, in the people at your command, in the youthfulness that you have. Time roots away all these in a moment. Leaving aside all these
after knowing their illusory nature, realized the state of Brahman and entered into it. Man or any jiva wants happiness. That is the reason we take all our decisions, all our actions are made with the desire for happiness. So when man comes into this world of objects and his senses think that he can find complete happiness in all the temporary things around him. And that starts the samsara of seeking for happiness, building through wealth, prestige, power, relationships, and of youth, beauty, etc. He thinks that these are the pillars that form his, help prop his ego into feeling that this is where happiness lies. This is where he can find the happiness. He's actually trying to find permanent happiness from very temporary things. And this reminds me actually of, when children play with soapy water and they take a straw and blow bubbles. But the bubbles come out and they attract the light and look very beautiful for a while. But it is the nature of the bubble to burst. The bubble will burst. Similarly, in this world of objects, when we try to take our pleasure from them, they are going to decay and go away. Time, they are born in time, are created in time, and they dissolve in time. That happens with everything that is in this world of samsara. Comes for a time and goes away with the time. But we try to find our identity. I identify completely with which is my house, which is my car, whose daughter am I, whose wife am I, where, like they said, where are we going for our next holiday? And this is the sum total of who we are actually. What achievements have we had? How much money am I making? Everything comes with an expiry date. Everything will be taken away. And just the same time, that doesn't mean that these things don't bring us joy. They bring us joy, immense joy for a while. And to the extent that they bring us joy, to that extent is the suffering. This is like a repetition over and over again, object to object, lifetime to lifetime, with absolutely no solution because we have a wrong roadmap. This is the objects and our attachment to the objects, our love for the objects is the biggest obstacle, are the biggest obstacles to spiritual life. Spirituality actually really begins when we realize that this whole field of worldly experience is Maya's trick on us. This is only a creation of Maya, and we have to come out of it if we want any kind of complete happiness, absolute happiness, which we all want in our lives. So, once we realize through our mental capacities, intellectual capacities, that this world is illusion, this world cannot satisfy us, we know that thoroughly. How do we know this? We know this through satsang, through reading the scriptures, and association with people who have the same, who want to follow the same roadmap as us, who have the same ideas of not going with the crowd, not going with the herd. These are pretty radical ideas. When you say them at a in conversation with other people of your own set, nobody really understands, or nobody's interested, or they'll have a smile and turn away. So these are radical ideas. If you want to follow it, you have to be prepared to be alone also and go forth with it. So once we have decided through satsang and all that once we have come to know that, realize it, then we do Sravana, Manana, Vidyasan, where we learn what is the actual roadmap, what is it that we can really seek and find. Once we've read it, we have to inquire. That is very important. Questioning, asking, finding out, Is it true? Is it real? Is it for me? Is it making sense? Is it logically making sense? And intellectually, only after being satisfied, then I can go into reflection, meditation, and get a clearer picture. Because it's not a blind ritual that I can just follow somebody else telling me. I don't know how much that would work for me. It wouldn't, because I have to understand something that if I'm willing to do something as big as this, like give up this whole, you do not give up. Like people say, not give up, but give up my attachment, my craving for it. If I'm willing to give it up and go on another journey, then I must be convinced thoroughly that yes, this is what I want because it makes sense to me. And once I go on that, then uh, that is somewhere where we reach the Govinda, our true nature, Brahman, whatever we choose to call it, because that is the lasting, that is not subject to change and decay, that does not go away anywhere. That is the perfect bliss, the harmony that we've always wanted. We've looked at the wrong place, but we've always wanted in our hearts, of our heart of hearts, that beauty, that absolute fulfillment, that the in ourselves and proceeding towards it does not mean we have to go to Manasalva, it does not mean we have to go to any mountain top or any place. It's good if we go, that's okay, that's good to discipline, but it actually means taking off all the layers that are covering my true nature. Like a shell covers a pearl, like a grain is covered by the chaff surrounding it, you have to take it out before we get it. In the same way, my true nature is covered by Maya, is covered by delusion. You have to smash the delusion and come to what is actually always there. The Sakshi Chaitanya, which is observing everything, which is making this whole world of even of Maya come alive. Because without that, there is nothing. How can there be anything? Also, I think it's the hammering. He's hammering it into us because human form is not easy to come by. After millions of births and deaths, we have got the human form, and it is only in the human form that we have the ability and the opportunity to connect with our higher power. So this is not to be wasted because who knows when we will be born humans again, and we will just continue to go on this merry-go-round of suffering, joy and suffering, joy and suffering. So I find this such a beautiful verse, and yeah, God will be.
Very well articulated. So for verse 12, I invite Rekha ji Bagadia.
Govindam Bhajamuramate Samprapte Sannihate Kali Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukkhena Karani. जगत गुरु शंकराचार्य जी इस श्लोक के माध्यम से हमें समय की महत्ता को बहुत सुंदर वर्णन किया। वो मनुष्यों की दुर्दशा पर दुखी होते हैं और विलाप करती है। दिन और रात, सुबह शाम, शीत और गर्मी सब बार बार आते जाते हैं, लेकिन समय अपना खेल खेलता ही रहता है। मनुष्य की आयु घटती है, परीक्षाओं के कभी अंत नहीं। कभी गौर किया है, जिसका जो जन्मा है उसकी मृत्यु निश्चित है। प्रतिवर्ष हम अपने बच्चे का जन्मदिन बहुत उत्साह से मनाते हैं, पर कभी सोचा है उसकी उम्र तो प्रतिपल हर क्षण घटती ही जा रही है, पर आयु तो घटती है, बढ़ती नहीं। समय अपना
जीवन का समय अपनी गति से निरंतर चलता रहता है, किसी के लिए एक पल भी ठहरता है। दिन का अंत रात्रि में होता है और रात्रि का अंत फिर प्रभात की बेला। प्रभात की बेला के बाद फिर मध्याह्न और कुछ समय बाद तो शाम में परिवर्तित हो जाता है। घटना चक्र में दिन, सप्ताह, महीने, साल यही गुजरते जाते हैं। जो आज है वो कल नहीं। शिशिर ऋतु बसंत में बदलती है। आज बहुत गर्मी का मौसम दस्तक दे रहा है जोर से। कल वही वर्षा, शरद, हेमंत और फिर शिशिर में परिवर्तित हो जाएगा। हर पल में परिवर्तन। उसी प्रकार मनुष्य का जीवन भी बाल्यावस्था, यौवनावस्था, बुढ़ापा और मृत्यु के क्रम से गुजरता है, जैसा कि अभी अभी 7वें श्लोक के माध्यम से बहन ने बताया। हमारा समय संसारिक भोग, विलास और इच्छाओं की पूर्ति में बीतता जाता है और बुढ़ापे में शक्ति क्षीण होती है, शरीर दुर्बल होकर बीमारियों के अधीन हो जाता है और एक समय यमराज का बुलावा आता है और हम मृत्यु के गोद में समा जाते हैं। कल जो भविष्य था आज वर्तमान है, कल फिर वो भूत में विलीन हो जाएगा। समय किसी के लिए ठहरता नहीं, तब जीवन का अंत आ जाएगा, ये किसी को पता नहीं। फिर भी हम भौतिक जगत की तृष्णाओं में के पीछे भागते रहते हैं। संसारिक चीजें माया के आवरण में ढकी रहती हैं और जो वो चमकती हैं, हर चमकने वाली वस्तु हमें आकर्षित करती है। इसी चमक दमक में खोकर हम अपने वास्तविक स्वरूप को भूल जाते हैं कि मैं कौन हूँ। उदाहरण के तौर पर जैसे सीता जी स्वयं आदि शक्ति जगदम्बा है, फिर भी मानव अवतार में वनवास के समय स्वर्ण मृग को देखकर वो लालायित हो जाती है और उसे पाने की जिद करने लगती है। उस समय श्री राम से भी ज्यादा वो मृग प्यारा लगता है। तो जब सीता जी ही खुद छद्म वेशधारी स्वर्ण मृग को देखकर धोखा खा जाती है, तो उनको साधारण मनुष्य है। हम अपनी इच्छा पूर्ति के लिए नित नए संसाधन जुटाने में व्यस्त रहते हैं और धन संचय करने का अथक प्रयास करते हैं। हमारे अंदर नित नई इच्छाएं जागृत होती है और हम उनसे पूरा करने में लगे रहते हैं। काल चक्र हमारे साथ बिल्ली और चूहे की तरह खेल खेलता रहता है। हर वक्त हम सोचते हैं शायद कल का दिन हमारे जीवन का और ज्यादा अच्छा होगा, सर्वोत्तम दिन होगा, पर ये सप्ताह, महीना, साल, ऋतुएं और अच्छी होगी। लेकिन किसी ने यह नहीं जाना कि अगला क्षण ही हमारे जीवन का अंतिम पल भी हो सकता है। मृत्यु एक ही क्षण में सर्वस्व हर ले। जैसे गीता के दूसरे अध्याय में श्री कृष्ण ने बताया, देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरः प्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति। इस दोहे में भगवान कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को आत्मा की अमरता और देहांतरण, मृत्यु के बाद नए शरीर धारण करने के बारे में बताते हैं। वास्तव में गर्भावस्था के समय से ही स्थूल शरीर का ये मरने की प्रक्रिया चालू हो जाती है। स्थूल शरीर 6 अवस्थाओं से गुजरता है। अस्थि जायते, वर्धते, विकीर्णते, अपक्षीयते, विनश्यते। लेकिन आत्मा नित्य शुद्ध मुक्त है, शाश्वत है, इसका कभी नाश नहीं होता। हमें चाहिए आत्म तत्व को जानने की कोशिश करें, इसका चिंतन करें और मनन करें। शास्त्र हमारी दृष्टि बार बार उस ओर ले जाते हैं, लेकिन हमारे पास समय नहीं है और हम उसे समझने की चेष्टा भी नहीं करते। हम केवल काम और अर्थ संबंधित इच्छाओं को पूर्ण करने में लगे रहते हैं। इसमें उलझकर हम धर्म और मोक्ष की ओर ध्यान भी नहीं दे पाते। केवल मनुष्य जीवन में ही विवेक और विचार करने की योग्यता है, जो और किसी योनि में या पशु वृक्ष की योनि में संभव भी नहीं है। हम अपने विवेक का सदुपयोग कर सही मार्ग चुनना चाहिए। जरा सोचें, हमारे लिए क्या सही है और क्या गलत। जो बुद्धि का उपयोग कर हमें अपनी इच्छाओं पर सने सने नियंत्रण करना चाहिए, ताकि हम जीवन की सार्थकता को जान पाएं और सत्संग की ओर मुड़ पाएं। सत्संग से ही हमें ज्ञान की प्राप्ति होगी और हमें अनासक्ति की प्राप्ति भी होती है। माया मोह का आवरण छूटता है और हम जीवन मुक्ति की ओर बढ़ सकते हैं। इसलिए ये बहुत अनिवार्य है, हम आज से इसी क्षण से अपने मन को भगवान के भजन में केंद्रित करें। भज गोविंदम भज गोविंदम गोविंदम भज मूढ़मते।
हिंदी में सुन के एक्चुअली बहुत अच्छा लगा, क्योंकि अपनी नेचुरल भाषा तो हिंदी है या बंगाली, बट अपने स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज इंग्लिश में पढ़ते हैं तो यदि नहीं दिल को ज्यादा टच करता है हिंदी। और वर्स 13 आई इनवाइट मधु जी कानूनिया।
My humble pranam to Shankaracharya ji, to Gurudev, Brahmacharya ji, respected teachers, and people present here. Today, with Gurudev's blessings, I would like to share my reflections on the 13th verse of Bhaj Govinda, the closing verse of the Dwadash Manjalika Stotram. Avinashi started pointing out from the Moha Mudra. It opens with one remedy: Bhaja Govinda, seek Govinda. He said, showing that mere intellectual scholarship is not enough. Then Rekhaji went on to say in verse 12, time plays on, life slips away, yet we cling on to desires. After these 12 powerful hammer blows on our delusions, verse 13 questions the very base of our jnana. And Gurudev has given a very good one solution, that is satsang. Now I would request all of you to join me in chanting this verse with Shraddha. Kate kanta dhanagati chinta vatul kim avanasini anta vijagati sajjana sangati rekha bhavati bhavanavatarane naka bhaj govindam bhaj govindam govindam bhaj mooಢmate. This verse simply says, why worry about wife and wealth? O distracted one, do you have no niyanta, no controller? In all three words, Sajjan Sangati Eka, the association with good people alone will serve as a boat, a nauka, to make you cross the ocean of samsara or the sea of birth and death. Let us reflect on the key words. Kanta. Kanta means wife, beloved, object of affection. Every relationship we cling on to with the mistaken belief that all happiness and security is dependent on him or her or on that object. Today, it shows up as a dependence on social validation, the need to be seen, to be affirmed, to be liked. Dhana. Dhana is wealth, position, security. It represents Trishna, a craving. Like fire, if not handled properly, it will consume. Today, it shows up as anxiety over whether we are doing enough or are we achieving enough. This verse does not ask us to abandon our duties or relationships. It just asks one precise question: why the jnana? For this, let us look at the law of karma. According to the law of karma, the phala, the effect, faithfully follows the cause, the karan. So Bhagwan says, do your karma sincerely. If Purusharth is Shreyas, Lord will see every good happens to you. As you sow, you shall reap. Body changes nothing. It just disturbs the body, mind, intellect instrument through which a jiva acts. Let us now see who's a Vatul. Gurudev has been, it's not, I think it's not a derogatory remark. He's just commenting after all those 11 verses. He's still calling us a Vatul, a deluded fool. Vata is a wind. So somebody who is tossed by Vata is a restless person, distracted person. Not just emotionally, but also because of ignorance of self, where the mind is misguided and he believes that all things, everything rests on his fragile shoulders. Poor thing. Niyanta, the most important, the one who ordains, the one who controls. This works at two levels. At Viveka, our discriminative intelligence, which works at the inner level, and at cosmic, the Ishvara, the supreme ordainer, Karma Phala Data. We are never without guidance. Three Jagati, the three worlds. It could be Dhru, Dhruva, Swarga, but for my reference, I will focus on the three states of experience: Jagrat, waking, Swapna, dream, Susupti, deep sleep. So samsara follows us at all these levels. So the remedy must also reach all these three levels. Please mark the word ekam, the only one. It is not one among many. So this is again hammered upon us that the only solution is satsang. Satsang or satsanga. That is our nauka, that is our boat. Satsang. So Sajjan Sangati is metaphorically a boat to cross the ocean of samsara. Worldly, Durjan Gati, Anatma company, they all are the same thing. They repeatedly pull us in the waters. Satsang lifts us above, keeping the mind in single pointed Ishvara direction, holding on to the dharma and viveka steadily. In practice, satsang to me means being a part of our study group classes at the mission, discourses of realized masters, maybe in YouTube's, sincere manan, reflecting on their teachings, and cultivating at least, if not all, a few of the Devi Sampat Sri Krishna so lovingly tells us in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16. To me, truthfulness, fearlessness are very important, though I was very nervous today. Even Tulsidas found his turning point in one sentence from his wife, and his attachment transformed to devotion. And we have Ramcharitmanas. Satsang guides us from mama to na mama, from mine to not mine. As long as I think this is my body, my wealth, my spouse, my success, my failure, there will be anxiety. Satsang brings clarity, guiding us from mortality to immortality, to Purnatvam. It is eternal PSH, peace, security, happiness. This dissolves all jnana. The boat brings us home to the self. My gratitude to myself, and this mission to my satsang, my mom. I offer my deepest respect and humble gratitude. Happy.
Well spoken, now come on और भी था.
I saw the bell, so I said, better not.
Okay. So for verse 27, I request Sri Jataji to come.
Naam Sahasram Deyam Srimati Rupam Ajasram Deyam Sajjana Sanghe Chittam Deyam Dina Janaya Chittam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Bhagavan Shankaracharya is saying that the Bhagavad Gita and Sahasranama are to be chanted always. The form of the Lord of Lakshmi is to be meditated upon. The mind is to be led towards the company of the good, and wealth is to be distributed to share with the needy. Now, these instructions he is giving us in order to prepare us, so that we ultimately become one with Govinda. Now, in order to attain oneness with Govinda, these preparations are required, but these preparations are required because our mind has various problems. Number one, our mind is very fickle; it wanders, chantala. Second, it is very impulsive. Third, it gets very easily attached. And fourth, it is very difficult to pull it out of attachment. So the mind is very obstinate. That is why to contemplate steadily on the self is very difficult. One may intellectually understand self-knowledge, but readiness is not there. To live that knowledge, to inquire continuously, to absorb the mind in that, because the mind is restless, fickle, and it is incapable of focusing. So the mind jumps from one thought to another, however we try to bring it back. There are two types of sadhanas. One is Bahiranga sadhana and second Antaranga sadhana. The Bahiranga sadhanas, they prepare our mind to overpower the limitations of the mind and to know the self. Now, each sadhana is simple and powerful. Yam means to chant. One should chant Gita, Vishnu, Sahasranama, or any other scriptural text. Chanting is a simple tool. When we chant, our mind is engaged, speech is engaged. If we don't know the meaning, chanting creates vibrations, and because it is the science of sound. Now, chanting in the way it should be chanted, whether Om or Gita or Vishnu Sahasranama, these sattvic runs, they help our mind to develop sattvic gunas. Gurudev said four words behind the vision of chanting. That is, first chant, then study, then know and live. Now, chanting leads to study because I want to know the meaning of what I am chanting. Then knowledge is clear, and then one starts living it. Thus, living the truths that are revealed through the chanting. In individual chanting, there is difficulty to focus, but collective chanting has lots of power. Chanting is the first sadhana to talk to a child. Small children, they grasp fast because a child is very receptive. Vedic chanting is very powerful. Chanting helps to control the impulsiveness of the mind. Chanting is a good support to the mind. When a person is angry, then he starts chanting Vishnu Sahasranama and gradually his mind quietens down. So one should chant at least 10 slokas of Gita or the Vishnu Sahasranama over once a day. Chanting makes the mind absorbed to create powerful vibrations. Now the second sadhana is to visualize the form. Dheyam Sripati Rupam Ajasram. Now, to visualize the form of Sripati, meaning Lord Vishnu, meditation on the form of the Lord is another way to bring back the wandering mind and to bring devotion in the heart. Mind cannot be controlled by mechanical methods, such as observing the tip of a candle, etc. Mind can be controlled only by invoking devotion and in the heart. Emotionally, we are attached to objects, and automatically the mind runs after these objects. Then, how to engage the emotion? One is struggling with emotional difficulties and impulsiveness. When the form of the Lord is there, I am surrendering to the Lord, and emotions are grounded. Purification of the mind happens, the form goes deep into the subconscious mind.
there is peace in the mind. When we meditate on the form, there is a vast field. In the beginning, mind is restless. Slowly, mind gets trained. To visualize the form is a very powerful means to bring back the mind to focus, to imbibe deeper ideals, and to connect to Ishvara. It also brings purity in the mind. Forms are not imaginary. The Lord can manifest in different forms, which great masters and rishis have seen. It is important to choose one form. The idea is that the Lord is one and I'm one with the Lord. Changing forms will confuse the mind. So choose one form of the Lord. We visualize the form, but our mind does not abide in it. It is because knowledge is not there about the form of the Lord, the glories of that form, the leaders are not known, and the special qualities of that form are not known. To focus knowledge and devotion, it is important. It is important to focus knowledge and devotion. And then enough devotion is not there because there is not enough knowledge. If we don't have knowledge about the Lord, then we cannot meditate. To focus the mind, knowledge and devotion is very necessary. Niyam Sanjana Samge Chittam. Through the company of seekers and saints from whom we get knowledge about the Lord in the satsang, we hear glories and stories about the Lord. They have symbolic significances also and Vedantic aspects also, which make our appreciation go up and our shraddha towards the Lord also increase. In satsang, we get knowledge. We see devoted people who have surrendered, who are walking the same path, which inspire us. Some may say that they do not have patience to sit and chant or visualize the form of the Lord or sit for satsang. Now they must want to do something dynamic. And what is that? That is they should find those people who are needy, poor, who need support and help, to give them in ways which are appropriate, to find the cause and righteousness. Bhagavan says to give dan at the right time, right place for a right cause is sattvic dan. It is our duty to give. This reduces attachment of the mind. Our culture says whatever you have, give, asserting independence. Give without feeling that you are doing a favor. This will reduce the problem of the third problem of the mind, that is attachment, and give out of gratitude. Our culture tells us to share what we have. By giving, we assert our independence, that we are not dependent on things, beings, other things. Bhagavan says, find the right place to give, right time to give, and to a deserving cause. That will slowly bring us to a particular point where the question dissolves. Who am I to give? Who is not deserving? Everybody is deserving. In giving, I'm only the instrument. I'm not giving anything. It is flowing through me. It becomes a spontaneous giving of knowledge, love, time, or effort. We understand dan for a needy at one level. When we support at a higher level, whole life becomes an act of giving. Then question doesn't arise whether one is deserving or not. It is uncaused compassion. Where the opposite person is not judged. It is causeless compassion that Gurudev showed throughout his life. Great saints were persecuted by society. They do not judge. They reach that state of complete egolessness. In our culture, charity is not compulsory. When a person feels, he gives automatically. In our culture, whole life is an act of giving.
The last speaker for the evening, verse 31, Vijayaji Gandhi.
First, I offer my humble pranam to my Guru, my Acharya, Chaitanya. I offer my pranam to my teachers, to stalwart teachers like Kalaji and Jamia and Devila in front. Bless me, please. This is my first maiden speech. Guru Chara Nam Puja Need Para Samsara Bachila Bhava Sendriya Manasa Niyama Devam Lakshasi Nidya Rastam Devam. What I have, so, Guru Charana Puja Need Para Bhava. What is that? Guru Charana Puja Need Para Bhava. Now we see the transformation from an ordinary person who was addressed by Shankaracharya as Guru Bhakti. He has become Bhakta or devotee. Okay, this is the journey. So Guru Charana Ambuja Nirvana Bhakta. How is this devotee? Guru Charana Ambuja Nirvana. That devotee who is totally dependent on Guru's lotus feet. Why Guru's lotus feet? Feet is feet. Why lotus feet? Because lotus grows on the bark, but there is not a speck of bark in it, and it never looks around. It smiles of the rising sun. That should be the sadhaka's attitude. So Guru Charana Amruta Nirvana Bhakta. What happens to him? Samsara Achirat Bhava Mukta. He escapes the samsara very quickly. It doesn't take so many years of sadhana. If he is determined and one aim oriented, then it never takes time. Samsara Achirat Bhava Mukta. Sendriya Manasa Niyama Deva. Sa Indriya Manasa Niyama Deva. By controlling his physical, his sense organs, both his sense organs and working organs also. Sendriya Manasa Niyama Deva. By controlling those organs of Karma, Karmendriya and Jnanendriya. Sendriya Manasa Niyama Deva. Rakshasi, he will see. The teacher, the Acharya, addressing his disciple as devotee, he will see. He will see. Nija Hidayastam Deva. He will see the divinity within yourself only. So here we see two things. One is from the disciple's point of view, he will see, he will realize. See means not see by eyes, with eyes. He will see with his inner eyes. That means realization. So on devotee's point of view, that he will realize Brahman. And we all know Brahma with Brahmaiva Bhavati. So Ahamatma Brahman. One, Mahavakti. And then from Guru's point of view, when he sees that the disciple has realized the thing, realized self-knowledge, then one Tattva-masi, another Mahavakti. Those two are included in this verse. And this is the Jayana story, short story, ordinary person who is by samsaric blows come for rescue, and Guru started with Muram. Then ends with, oh dear devotee, you are eligible to realize that. Thank you.
So as the journey started, and it was concluded so nicely that I told that 1 plus 1 becomes 0. And this is the exact conclusion of that same theme. Because when a sadhaka starts his journey, he becomes very much turbulent. And he comes and starts asking, who am I? Kuta ayataha, from where I have come. And when, after the gradual graduation in the sadhana, he becomes in that position when Guru says the Mahavakya, like Tattvamasi, Sevakitu. So that Nija Hridayastham, whom you are worshipping, he is inside your heart. So, and that is the Upadesha Mahavakya. And the sadhaka realizes that the realization of Mahavakya, that so aham, I am that. That is the impact of that conclusion sloka. Thank you very much.
Before I invite Kalra sir and Damia sir to say the closing remarks and give the prasad pustika to all the speakers, I want to say that there is prasad for everyone after the program. So please ensure आप लोग खा कर के जाएंगे. So Kalra sir.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
So that's Prasad, and first I want to ask Rohit how much time is he giving me? So how much time do we have?
So you are timeless.
Okay. I see we have this vision of Pujya Gurudev unfolding in front of us. And Pujya Gurudev's role model was Adi Shankaracharya. Inspired by him, he said that if he could work so much, so I should also do it. And during his time, whatever the need was, he did it. And today we are celebrating the 75 years of Chinmay Amrit Mahotsav. So really देखा जाए, इसमें this Guru Shishya Parampara comes down. And so we are seeing this Parampara unfolding. And today, listening to all of you, such beautiful thoughts, it has been the greatest learning for me. All what I forget, at old age you tend to forget. Everything is come back. So I thank you all. And of course, Rohit, he organized this Shankara Jayanti program, similar program last year. And we decided that every year we should do it. And so all I had to do is tell him, Rohit, and then today, even 7 days before this place was under construction, we couldn't believe that it can happen.
Even yesterday also.
Yeah, I know. I had a class here. I said, but anyway, we are blessed by Pujya Gurudev, and so we are seeing his vision coming into unfolding, and when it is his vision and his work, then how it happens, who helps from where, we cannot imagine. Now, the thing is that we have so many classes going on, and I thank all the sevaks and coordinators and all the students who have taken so much pains to come here, and they're prepared. And it's been a wonderful evening. Today, being Adi Shankaracharya's birthday, Jayanti, so much is happening throughout the world with the Chinmay mission and other missions also. Today, Pujya Guruji has been honored by the Ek Atma, mission. Again, we had this Ma Sundari Mandir inaugurated, Prana Pratishta. These are great events. These are visions of our masters. And their vision can fold in so many ways. Last year we saw so many events in Chinmay Mission. And how did they take place? Where did the people come? All you class students volunteered, and by physical presence or by through money or through organizational ability, whatever it was. So really it is a yajna spirit which is unfolding before us. And every time a person comes here and takes part, that person gets rooted into his own understanding. Rohit is the best example. He said, after I had spoke here, then after that, and then it got so stuck into me, then now he is there. Similarly, all those 14 people, I congratulate you for having come here and taken preparation, and then you expressed your thoughts. And they say, once we had our servant was not there and my wife was not feeling well. And so we said, what to do? We have to eat. And she says, you are going to cook today. And my God, I've never entered the kitchen. She says, I will guide you. She's sitting here, she's guiding me. So she said, get a pot and get some rice and put it into the pot and switch on the gas and all that. I did all that. And then we were discussing. Then she said, now go. And then she came herself. And after that, what she did, she removed the lid, took out one grain, and she pressed it between her fingers. And she said, perfect. Today it reminds me, after seeing you all, so many classes are taking place. I don't know what is going on, but here I have pressed the grain between my ears, and I find that we are doing an excellent job. So I congratulate you all.
We did when Chaitanya Swami was there. We did this job.
So now you see this hall. I couldn't believe today when I entered that I have come to Chinmay Mission.
So Nandini ji also put a lot of effort.
All those people who are working here, I was interacting with them every week because I hold 2-3 classes here. The idea is that miracles take place here, and that is the Gurudev's mission. In fact, Gurudev's role model was Adi Shankaracharya, and our role model who have met Gurudev was Gurudev. And now you have a great responsibility, the students, because the sevaks and sevikas, you are role models for your students. And so you have a great responsibility. We read, we take classes, we explain, but that is not all. You have to accept the vision of Adi Shankaracharya as it is coming down, and then see that there is dynamism in us. Explaining is one thing, and assimilating that what we have explained and then living it in our lives, that is very, very important. So this is my appeal to, you are doing a great job, but now we don't have to become complacent, it's every year once we can have this and this is it. Chinmay Mission had a vision. We want to bring back Hinduism to Hindus. We are not converting anybody. So in this whole journey, we are there and we are all together and we must take it forward. Of course, now I will not take any more of your time because the first So with that, I really again pray to the Lord that give us strength to keep on this path. We will be chanting the pledge after Vivek has done his job, and then we will have prasad and go. I am really happy and very joyful today. Thank you very much all. Hari Om.
Thank you, sir. Before Dalmia sir hands over the prasad pustikas, sir, few words. You are here, few words.
No, I will not have much to say because I am very, very time bound. Already is time less, I am time bound. So this much, everyone has shown their tremendous mukshu, that is moksha ichu. But we are now terrifically prasad ichu. Prasad ichu and just proceed.
So Avinash ji, Rajji.
Big hand. Big hand.
इसका माइक
नीना जी.
किताब को पकड़ो माइक 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 ले हाँ सर
रोहित रोहित सब कौन से क्लास से आते हैं वो बोलो ना अच्छा लगेगा दैट टेकिंग whose class
Acha. So you can also. Neera ji is from which class are you from?
Smita Canary
And Vinash ji is from my class. Then we've got Rajri ji. Rajri is from Kagra sir's class. Soma ji. Lakshmi.
And also Vivek.
Double clap.
Shivani ji. Survey ji.
I'm from Rohit class
Lavya ji. Namdev ji. Lili ji. Rekha ji.
विवेक सर
And Pooja ji.
ताली में ना समझ में नहीं आता
Madhu ji. Sujita ji.
श्रीजाता
Srijata. And Vijaya ji.
इसकी कौन सी क्लास
Thank you everyone. So we have the snacks and prashad made out at the library. In the library, please.
Pledge, pledge, pledge.
Pledge.
We stand.
माइक माइक माइक
We stand as a family, bound to each other with love and respect. We serve as an army, courageous and disciplined, ever ready to fight against all low tendencies and false values within and without us. We live honestly the noble life of sacrifice and service, producing more than what we consume and giving more than what we take. We seek the Lord's grace to keep us on the path of virtue, courage, and wisdom. May thy grace and blessing flow through us to the world around us. We believe that the service of our country is the service of the Lord of Lords, and devotion to the people is devotion to the Supreme Self. We know our responsibilities. Give us the ability and courage to fulfill them. Om Tat Sat.